Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back to your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about the vast majority of crypto and finance. With that being said, I hope that you are all having a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are out there in the world. So, how is everyone doing out there? I'd love to hear from you guys down in the comments below. I do hope everybody had a beautiful weekend. Outside of that, price action, nothing too crazy. Honestly, from the last time that I did do a market update, there hasn't been much change in the overall market. I mean, Bitcoin has been ranging, most altcoins have been ranging. There has been a lot of spikes up in the market, like for an example, Dogecoin, right? We saw Dogecoin hit like a 20+% run up just recently with Tesla accepting Dogecoin, which I will address a little bit. But outside of that, right, like most of the altcoin market is up significantly today, which is a very good sign. Now, we'll talk about that. We'll address it. Here's the top 500 gainers. Like I said, there is a lot of major moves happening around the altcoin market right now. And it is for, we have to mention it because as we really look at this space, most altcoins will start to break out against Bitcoin over time, but right now I don't think that we're looking at this and saying, "Hey, look at altcoins are taking over." No, that we're not. We're not at that stage yet. We're too early to really kind of look at that. But I will say some of the altcoins that I have been outlining on the channel, like for an example, Eternity. This is one that I made a video on recently. It did hit our buy zone at about roughly $3 and almost 50 cents, and now we're at about roughly $4.50 from that video, which is great to see. So some altcoins are hitting our buy zones, which is great to see, and they are bouncing in a great way. Now, outside of this, as we do look at the fear and greed index, we are still neutral because most of the market has been neutral, but we will talk about a few things that I'm watching for and I'm really kind of seeing. Now, I do want to start off with this post here for myself, actually, because, as we do look at the space, guys, there isn't, when we look at what's going on with price action, charts, everything, everyone's always asking, what should I do? What am I supposed to be doing right now? And the clear answer here and the simple answer is, you don't have to do anything. We don't have to overcomplicate this space. We don't have to overcomplicate investing. I said market manipulation into the weekly candle close, followed by a push, higher during the week. That's what I'm expecting, guys, right? So far, this is what the price action has looked like on Bitcoin in the last 7 days. Nothing too crazy, just chop in an upward fashion until we have a major move and a major reclaim of some key levels. I'm not expecting anything too crazy in the market. We have been following a pattern as of lately where we have these fake out moves to demand and support zones. This is typically followed up by sentiment reacting impulsively. What typically happens next, whatever the opposite of what the sentiment is telling us. So if you are seeing majority bearish or bullish post, expect the opposite until key levels are reclaimed. We already got a tap of 56.9K roughly, and now everyone is expecting 80K plus immediately. Now, I know on some of the price charts we wicked a little bit lower, like for an example, on CMC it's hitting like 56 almost 0.9K. I know some charts have us at like 56.5K. Regardless, we hit that zone, right? We need to be very cautious right now since we haven't made a higher high since our initial break to 73K. I don't mind us chopping a bit between 50 to 70K until we finally get a confirmation of a higher move, making a higher high, and that will be that signal of us going higher. So what do we do in the meantime? It's simple. Do nothing. During this time, all you need to do is take time away, remain calm, and be patient. I'm expecting a major alt season next, but before that, which is prime time for making the most money, we need to really shake the tree. Sadly, not everyone will make it, and that's just the truth. The chop will be enough to shake the majority out, and what comes next is the major wave 5 and alt season, which will lead to the top. Enjoy this time in the market because this is the easy part. Taking life-changing profits is the challenging part for most. Prepare accordingly. And yes, I do want to stress this for all of you out there. This is the easy time in the market. When we're looking at Bitcoin and we're having these major pullbacks along the way and we're having shakeouts along the way, this is the easy time in the market. Don't act impulsively. Don't get to that point in time where you're trying to do something constantly in the space I see a lot of people trying to overtrade. I see a lot of people, jumping into leverage trades. You don't have to be doing all this stuff, guys. It's as simple as like the most simple way to win in this space is by just holding spot, right? Buy and hold spot. And when I say buy and hold spot, look into blue chips, look into things that are solid plays in the space, and you don't have to stress yourself out. This space is not, it doesn't have to be stressful. I know a lot of people over stress about, things in the space, and you don't have to be doing that. It's as simple as it is, right? Just do nothing until a level is reclaimed or a level is lost. Now, I'll talk about both of those levels in this video, but I do want to address a few things. So over here, we have crypto venture capital funding hits $1 billion for the second straight month. Guys, this is roughly almost an hour ago, and we do see it is the first time since late 2022 where the industry has recorded 2 consecutive funding months above $1 billion. Now, the key thing to focus on here is it's the first time since late 2022. Guys, go back on Bitcoin, go back on Ethereum, go back on any altcoin, and go all the way back to late 2022, around roughly just July, right? Go back to July of 2022, all the way into roughly December of 2022, and look at where we're at right now. VCs are not trying to lose money. Guys, venture capitalists, when we're talking about billions of dollars, they are doing this because they see something happening. They see something coming. What is that? It is alt season. And we know that alt season is going to happen next. We know how the market works. We know that liquidity is starting to improve greatly. And we do know that as we look at Bitcoin dominance, right, it has started to weaken. We're focused on that heavily. I will talk about that. But I do believe that the next major move in this market is going to be where most of the money will be made. Over here, we have from Bloomberg, again, gotta love the FUDsters. The state of crypto is anything but strong. Industry boosters say they've learned their lessons from the last crash, but regulators need to move faster to protect a new wave of mainstream investors from the same old story. Gotta love this, type of stuff. They throw it behind a paywall, which is roughly $2 a month, whatever, right? They throw it behind a paywall and they FUD crypto to oblivion. Bloomberg is one of the biggest FUD outlets out there in terms of mainstream media. Also, beyond that, CNBC. Again, this is a pro article stuck behind a paywall. We have JP Morgan is cautious on crypto as retail investors dump following ETF hype. This is May 2nd. They're now cautious on crypto. Of course, JP Morgan would be, right? This is why I'm looking at the big institutions, the mainstream media articles. What's the sentiment like right now around crypto? What is going on around crypto, right? And if you go and look at the timeline, at least in mine, right, most of it is either neutral or bearish. A lot of people are saying like, oh, I'm very worried right now. I'm looking at, charts. I'm seeing warning signs. That's what the Bitcoin chart looks like right now. On the weekly, at least. Is this bearish? Is it bullish? So far, we are in the first major area of cautious. And this is what the daily chart looks like. Again, so far we are ranging. We haven't cleared resistance yet. I've been telling you guys, we need to make a new higher high on this. Unless we make a higher high, I'm not dead set on us not revisiting like 61K, 59K. I mean, realistically speaking, if we look at this chart and I go to this area down here, this is still a possibility of us tapping this level down here once again. I mean, would it surprise you if we saw something like this and then we range and then we get the big move above a higher high? It wouldn't surprise me at all. The big thing to focus on is a little bit of the higher time frames, like the 3-day. I personally love watching the 3-day more than pretty much any other time frame. The weekly is always good. We just got a weekly candle close, right? The weekly candle close wasn't too bad. We closed at about roughly 64K, nothing too bad. And as we really look at the overall price chart, The thing that I'm looking at currently is just ranging, right? We're watching this range a little bit. We're waiting for the next big move, and everyone is trying to guess on what the next big move is. I saw a lot of people saying like, "Oh, we have to come back down, to 56K. We have to come down to this level, that level." Right now, we're just battling resistance, right? And we're trying to break over that 64K level, going all the way back here to February 27th. We finally broke over this back in the beginning of March, and this actually set us on the path to almost $74,000. I do think that the same will pretty much happen, except we still need to clear this level up here. But the higher high is what I'm more so focused on right now. I don't really care about anything else. On the 3-day, the good thing that I'm seeing here is momentum starting to change a little bit on the MACD. We're probably some time away from this. I'm watching, of course, the Monday opening. So today, right? Later today, I should say. I'm watching that a little bit more closely currently for the not only the dollar, right? Because this is what the DXY chart looks like. I'm not only watching this for the dollar, but I'm also watching it for the 10-year. This has been fairly bearish. And like I said, this being bearish is very good for risk on assets. And same with the dollar, right? We're watching this to see if it's going to try to attempt a breakout above this major resistance zone, or if we're going to continue to reject that upper trend line and finally lose this trend possibly in June, right? Because that's where this will essentially take us. But we could still ride that bottom trend line a little bit until we get, a big move to the bottom or possibly a breakout up into this area of demand. The dollar is going to be the key thing to focus on, as well as the 10-year. These are the two main charts that I'm watching. More so now than ever, right? And also, I'm watching it more than Bitcoin. I don't really care what Bitcoin is doing right now. I care what these two charts are doing, because this tells us everything about what Bitcoin is going to do next. Now, outside of all of this, right? Focus on Google Trends. I've been focused on the Google Trends for a while. This goes all the way back to 2012. And if we look in the previous cycles, specifically 2017, 2018, look at all of the search histories for cryptocurrencies back in December of 2017. This is what we want to see. Now, back in 2021, this didn't really see a big spike like this back in 2017. But look at where we're at right now. Does this look anything similar to 2020 and 2021, or even 2017, 2018? Absolutely not. Here's Bitcoin as well. Again, yeah, we had a nice spike here, but look at 2017, look at 2018, look at 2020 and 2021. I mean, interest rate now is extremely low. The herd is not even back. Here's crypto as well. Again, as we look at these charts, like this is a nice spike, but it's nothing close to 2020 and 2021, which, by the way, go back to 2020 and 2021, it completely blew 2017, 2018 out of the water. Over here, we have altcoins. Again, these charts are pretty much dead in the water. They're not doing anything crazy. Like interest right now around crypto is pretty much dead. And most of the market has been very boring. Like as we look at price action, like, yeah, we're still waiting on Bitcoin to break a major move or break a major target on this chart for a much expanded view and move. But beyond that, we're also waiting on sentiment to change. We're waiting for something to happen in this space because everyone is so bored. Everything around us, we look at the engagement, it's been pretty boring for the most part. And this is because interest is down. Interest is pretty much dead right now. And it's because everyone is waiting for the next big move. Now, outside of this, altcoins, right? Still playing into, key levels. We're still at major resistance. Look at this weekly chart here. I mean, yeah, we have the support zone down here, but look at the resistance here at about roughly $665 billion. We're waiting for a move on pretty much all these charts. And this is why I say, let's go back to my chart, my post over here talking about the charts and stuff. If we look at this, right? This is the shakeout, right? We don't have to have these massive moves down to like 50K for, a shakeout to happen. I always say time and chop is the big thing that shakes a lot of people out. Nobody wants to sit here watching a chart do this, right? They want to see the chart go parabolic. They want to see the price action. Everyone wants to make money today, tomorrow. And that's why when we look at a lot of these charts and when we look at sentiment, the engagement tells us everything that we need to know, which is the fact that this market is just brewing, waiting for a big move. Now, like I said, I do believe that that move will be to the upside. I believe that a major move to the upside is on the horizon. Now, do I think that's going to happen immediately? No. Like I said, we are going to chop. I wouldn't be surprised if we did something like this before a big move on Bitcoin. And we could even chop as low as the next demand zone, which I said, right? But I'm not expecting us to go back down to these lows, right? I'm expecting maybe like 59K, maybe 61K. That would be fair. But that chop is enough to make a lot of people sell out and get out. While Bitcoin dominance looks like this. Guys, this thing has been chopping and chopping and chopping to the upside for so long. And when it does this, right, we are expecting something like this to happen where it just forms a, slight bottom. And when I'm saying bottom, it's pretty much a top, right? And then it just goes like this, right? Because it's very similar to support and a floor. I always say in terms of like averaging into positions, you don't have to average in constantly on a major move to the bottom, right? What you want to see is a floor form. So in the opposite direction, it's kind of like this, where we're waiting and then we finally get a move to the upside. It's the same exact thing on a move to the upside. It's fighting resistance, and it finally just rejects. And that's what we're watching for on Bitcoin dominance. Now, I've always said 58 to 60% is the level that I'm really watching for on Bitcoin dominance. Everybody's expecting us to reject from here, which it could very well happen. But we're going to watch for a loss or a regain of the upper trend line or the bottom trend line. That's what we're watching for. So anything, above here, we're watching for a rejection up here. And anything of a loss of that bottom trend line, that's going to be the start of alt season. That's all you have to wait for. Now, beyond that, like I said, Monday's opening, we are watching the DXY and the US 10-year more than pretty much anything else. Now, do I think that we are about to go parabolic? Do I think that we're going to go crazy? Well, let's actually look at futures. Let's see how the futures look right now. So this is what we are looking at right now at about roughly 11:46 p.m. EST. This is what the futures are telling us. It's nothing too crazy, a little bit of green across the board, but nothing too crazy. So, is the open going to be very bullish? It's not looking too crazy, but I wouldn't be surprised if we did open green and we had a little bit of a price move into the upper ranges on a lot of these charts, including, of course, Bitcoin. The key level to watch Bitcoin is just basically breaking over about roughly 67K. This is the daily chart. It's like 66.8, 66.9K. That's what we're watching for a big break over this, and a daily candle close actually over 67K. That's the big moment. But beyond that, nothing really changed. And, I'm still expecting us to go much, much higher. We still have to print money, right? Remember, go back to what the US Treasury just told us. They are going to print money, which is going to push things even higher. So with all of that being said, guys, nothing to panic about, nothing to, be concerned about. You don't have to act impulsively. Simply do nothing for now. And I do think that the next couple months outside of May are going to be very, very bullish. We're definitely focused more so on the mid to the end of summer and more so leading into the fall timeframe. Very similar to like almost 2022. If we go back to 2022, I can kind of show you guys what I mean by that. And even 2023 as well. Like, if we go back here to 2023, let's go to the weekly on this, just kind of give you guys a quick insight on this. So let's go back to the May timeframe. So here's April. April topped out at about roughly 31K on Bitcoin. Came back down all the way into June was where we bottomed at about roughly 25K. Here's a massive green candle in June all the way up here to about roughly 31.5K. Then we pushed up a little bit higher to almost 32K, sold off a little bit into August. And then here's the fall time frame in October. And that's when we went absolutely parabolic from pretty much October all the way through November, December, and up to our topping point in roughly March, April. Very, very similar back to this time frame here, where we're just kind of waiting for a move like this, which I do think is going to probably happen sometime around the mid to the end of summer into the fall time frame. So All you have to do is be patient and wait it out. Again, I'm watching for key levels to be lost on the weekly. We haven't had a close above 63K at all. So structure wise, we are still looking pretty good. Are we bullish right now on Bitcoin? The structure is still not bullish until we reclaim a higher high. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.